Hi everybody, welcome to our 4 o'clock live. I am here with Glenn. Hi Glenn, how are you?
Hi, pretty good.
Good, I'm so glad you're here. Glenn is our new alumni coordinator and I am so excited.
Oh my God, I'm really excited too.
I'm so excited. I'm selfishly excited because now we're in the same office and I'm just telling everybody this is not my work husband and
Put a ring on it.
I put a ring on it and we're gonna have lots of fun here. So I'm so excited you're here and part of our team over on this side. I don't know if you guys can see, but we've got my dog here with us too. This is Rule. I don't know if you can see him or not. Taylor, can you see the dog or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Rule. He's my dog and he's my little ride or die. He's been going around with me the last couple days and I can't really figure out if he likes hanging out or not. Like he's been in my car for 2 days straight and it's like he's just so chill that I think he's good.
I think he's good too.
You have a dog.
I do.
How did you get that dog? What happened?
Oh my God. Okay, so it happened on 2/22/22. So I think
Aww,
that's like a sign.
that was meant to be.
Yeah, because on that day it was gonna rain that night and I was trying to park my car and for some reason all the parking spots were completely full, so we had to go park my car at a park.
Okay.
And I get there and there was this dog that was just wandering with other dogs.
Aww.
And someone had abandoned him and 2 other dogs in the park.
Aww.
And he was the only one that came up to us. And we were like, we don't know what to do with him. He was full of fleas, full of
Aww.
ticks.
So totally just a stray then.
A stray dog.
Yeah.
I don't know how long he's been out on the streets. And
Yeah.
then, so we took him in, we gave him a bath, and we took him to the vet. They were like, he's like a year old, he's still a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know what to do with him, so we just kept him.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Brock.
Brock, and he loves, I watch your Facebook, so he loves socks.
He loves socks. He loves socks, and my socks right now have holes in them. Like I feel so bad going to the gym and taking off my shoes because people are like, do you not have socks? I'm like, I do. He just eats all of them.
I swear it's something with little dogs. I used to have pugs and they were the same way. They just love socks. But anyways, okay, dogs, socks, all that good stuff. Let's get down to the real stuff here. So I know a little bit about you. We've sat and talked.
I can't hear. Can you turn your mic?
Uh-oh. All right, everybody. This is live, you guys. This is what happens.
This is
We're just
Thank you.
we're good now. We just had to turn up the volume. This is real life.
Yeah.
This is real life. Right here
Situations
happening.
happens, yeah.
Okay. We good? I think we're good.
speak.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Testing 1 2 3.
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Here
okay.
we go.
Here we go.
That's perfect though, because you know what? Life happens and you just got to roll with the punches and make the best of it. And that's what we do in recovery.
Right.
You know, it's like we have to go with it. And if we let little speed bumps get in our way, we're never going to get anywhere.
Absolutely.
You know?
I definitely agree with that.
So yeah, so you're in recovery and I would love for you to share with everybody a bit of your story and where you came from and how you got to where you're at today.
Yeah, of course. So a little bit about my story. I was actually born in Guatemala. So I was born in Guatemala during the Civil War of Guatemala. So my parents and I came here illegally to the United States.
When was that? What year was it?
I was 1988, 1980, yeah, 1987, 1988. And you know, when we left our family without my family knowing, so like my immediate family, my grandma, my aunts, my uncles, no one knew that we were going to come to the United States.
Wow. Why is that? You just...
I think it was just the fear of saying goodbye.
Okay, yeah.
And you know, I did not know this story until my grandma recently told me, but when I was 4 years old and I got to San Diego, I called my grandma from the San Diego payphone and I told my grandma about my journey, about coming to the United States.
Wow.
And my grandma just broke down in tears because she said, I'm never gonna see you again. And I said, don't worry, Grandma, one day I'm gonna be on television and you will see me all the time.
Aww.
And I don't know, for some reason that was kind of like a drive for me like throughout my life. Like I got into theater arts, I got into music, I got into singing. I've always been really creative, and I think that was kind of like, it was a strength and it was also a weakness, you know.
Why do you say that? A strength and a weakness. What was the weakness?
The weakness was that I didn't have any mentors. So I was going into this industry, into this creative industry with the tools, but not really the education behind the scenes of this industry that people always talk about, this industry. You know, my first experience with drugs, I grew up very strict in a strict religious household. And I just remember my first agent telling me that I needed to lose weight. And I didn't know what to do. And someone said, hey, I know how you can lose a couple pounds in a few days. And I was just like, sure, I need it. And I dove in that deep. It wasn't like I started off slowly and I just went from one end to another end. And after that, it was just like a roller coaster I made a career out of it for 10 years.
And I think that's so valuable for people to hear, because it happens so often. And I know we talked about that when we sat and had lunch, because the same thing happened to me too. And at a very young age, when I started modeling, I was like 11, 12 years old, and they were looking at these pictures in my portfolio, and I was all like proud of myself and excited, and they just picked me apart. And they were like, well, your inner thighs touch. And then it was, well, your nose doesn't have a swoop, and these things. And what did I do? I turned to drugs and alcohol, you know, for other reasons too, but I led down that path. I got lipo on my inner thighs. I got my nose done. Like, I've had a lot of things done because we get pressured before we're educated. And have that self-love and that self-respect to know who we really are. We're so influenced at that age. And so for you and so many other people, they get influenced in that.
Definitely.
You know, and like when you look back now at your younger self when that was happening, you know, for people that are experiencing that right now, because it happens every day, what would you say?
Oh my God. You know, if I can look back at my 19-year-old self and just look at me, I just really want to hold this kid and say, you are enough. You are enough. No matter what people tell you, build that self-confidence, that self-love. You know, my entire thing that I preach is be good to you. Like, I did not know what being good to me meant, you know? And I think that that has always been really important for me, because when I thought that I was really loving myself, I really wasn't. And in sobriety, I'm still learning how to define loving myself and what does that mean to me. You know, and I think that has been a catalyst in my recovery, because learning how to redefine these terms that we throw around all the time, self-care, I'm working on myself. What does that even mean? You know, and I always hear people say this, like, I am going to upgrade, or I'm doing this, but I don't see people actually doing something. You know, for me, like, it has been a journey in my recovery to redefine the things that I find in inspiration. For example, like when I got sober, I'm very creative and I'm very artistic. I love to write poems, I love to write stories. And I got sober and I stopped doing all the things that I liked.
Why?
I think it was because, you know, like when I was thinking about creativity and recovery, about the topic maybe this week, I started to think about like what inspired me then. And what inspired me then in my life, in my career of drug use and alcoholism, was chaos. So that was my muse. I always looked for unavailable, emotionless people that I would attach myself to so I can write. I was like the Taylor Swift. I was like the OG Taylor Swift. You know? So I would find these people that had nothing to give, that I wanted something from, and I would be like heartbreak and chaos and car accidents and like all these things. And that was my inspiration for a long time, for 10 years of my life. And then I got sober and there was stillness and solutions. And I did not know how to deal with that. That wasn't something that inspired me before. What am I gonna write a song about my 401k that I have now? You know, like my amazing relationships. And I start to really think like my inspiration, my muse for creativity, I have to redefine what that looks like for me.
perfectly said. Like, honestly, it gives me goosebumps because it's so true. We get so used to the chaos that that's our normal and we love it. And then we get sober and like just being quote unquote normal and being drama free and being around healthy people. It's like we have no idea who we are and how to do that. And like, unless we work on ourselves and those behaviors, we start to seek it out.
Yeah.
In so many different ways.
Absolutely.
And unless we're like truly being honest with ourselves and doing the work, we're just going to keep doing that. I know I've done it in my recovery several times. I still do to this day in a lot of ways and have to catch myself and go, okay, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And if I have done something, how do I be accountable for it, make amends, and move on and learn, right? I think as long as we're learning, we're growing. And as long as we're being honest about those situations, we're growing as well. But yeah, it's so hard to find that peace of mind and happiness and contentment in sobriety. Even though we're sober and we're happy, we don't know how to be us, how to be yourself in that space. So for you, what does that journey look like? Like, how have you been able to start to discover who you are and be content in that space and in your relationships?
My goodness. Well, first of all, therapy has been really important for me in my life. Therapy, because I have this fear of success and I have this fear of failure. So it's like my entire life, I get somewhere and then I mess it up.
Self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage. I am like the king, queen, ruler of self-sabotage.
I feel you, yes.
So it's like I teeter-totter between both these things, and I've come to realize that I don't think that I am worthy of success. And I had to really sit down with myself and say, Glenn, like, what's going on? Why do you not feel worthy of this? You know, and in therapy, I have been able to rediscover myself and give myself that affirmation, the self-love. And I think that for me is one of the biggest things that I can say that I have gained in sobriety. It is the love that I have for myself. I have never put myself first. I've always been a people pleaser. And, you know, for a long time, like I would always say, like, I would go out with friends to eat sushi and I don't even like fish, you know, but I just would go because that's something I had to do. But now it's okay for me to say, like, you know what, let's go have a burger, or let's go have a salad, or let's go do something else, and not be afraid that people are not going to want me in their life.
Right. I know. I do the same thing. And it's so hard to move past that, but it feels so good when you start to do it and take that power back, you know?
Yeah.
To be able to say no and not feel like you owe somebody an explanation. That's like a huge one for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like constantly having to make excuses for yourself. Like, oh, well, no, but da-da-da-da-da-da. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, why does it have to be like that? You know, like, why can't we just like what we like and be okay and have our own opinion and not mean that someone's not going to like us?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, if someone doesn't like us because of something that we like or we do, then really we're better off anyway.
Yes, let go and let God.
Honestly.
Let go.
Yeah, like as I get older, I'm like really, really finding peace in the idea that I don't have to get along with everybody.
Absolutely.
Like, we can all respect each other, but we don't all have to be friends. Like, why does everyone have to like us? You know?
Yeah.
And for so long, it's like, if someone didn't like me or said something, it's like the end of the world.
It would be the end of the world. For me, I mean, growing up in that environment, you know, I could have a million compliments, and that one negative one was the only thing I focused on the entire day. You know, you didn't hit your mark. Your accent wasn't good enough. You know, you don't fit this role. And that would just crumble my very being. You know, it's because, but now it's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I'm able to just be me.
Yeah.
And that is so liberating.
So with the acting, modeling, all that you did, is that something that you would like to continue doing in your life, or are you now fulfilling your purpose through working in treatment, having your presence out there, you know, within social media, influencing, helping other people that need help or that are struggling?
Yeah, I think I was trying to make something work that wasn't meant for me. In recovery, I feel a sense of purpose right now, especially with the alumni program. Like, I have such strong feelings towards the alumni program because connection is my strength. I really love to connect with people. I really like to get to know people and say, hey, where are you coming from? What's going on in your life? And don't give me the surface level, shh. You know,
Yeah.
I want to get to know you, and I want to get to know people. And I feel like I can really build that community of alumni, and not just alumni, of just a community of people that are going to get together and talk about things like this, talk about sobriety, and let's talk about fear, let's talk about, you know, abandonment issues, let's talk about successes, and let's just talk about sobriety and build this connection and group of people that want to be sober. And I don't care how you get sober. I don't care if it's church, I don't care if it's through meditation, I don't care if it's through therapy. Just like, how can you make your life a little better today? And I think that's the most important thing for me. It's like, I'm not big on this or that, or you have to do it the way that I did it. I don't care. Ultimately, these are people's lives, and people are going to do what they're going to do. But if you can make your life a little better today, what would it be? You know, if you could just improve. And something that I've learned, I guess one of the biggest things that I've learned is that in order for someone to make a change, we have this concept that you have to do a 180, right? And someone said, Glenn, all you have to do is a 2-degree change. And that will ultimately take you in a whole new path. 2-degree change. So if you focus on that 2-degree change instead of the 180, you're going to go somewhere different.
Absolutely. And then there's not that immense pressure that you have to make this massive change. You know, it's that little difference every day. Like I say for myself, I've been on this fitness journey, and I'm like, if I could just be 1% better every day, and that just builds and builds and builds, like, what does that look like? You know, a year or 2 years from now, if we stick to it, you know? It's just so fascinating to me, like where our lives were and where we've come, you know?
Yeah.
And that everything that we've done in our lives have led us here. You know, everything that you were doing with film and television and modeling and going down that dark path for a while, it all had to happen for you to be where you're at today and being able to touch the lives that you touch, you know, and you're so loved. Like, people, this guy, like, everybody loves you. Like, they really do. Like, you have this energy about you. You're so loving and caring.
Oh my God. Do you know what my nickname is?
What?
Glenergy.
You Glenergy. Glenergy. I'm going to get you a little sign because that is you. You walk into the center and it's like everybody is happy to see you, you know, and being able to touch people's lives in that way, I think, is so much more impactful than being in front of the camera doing what you're doing before. You
Absolutely.
know, it was the same for me too. And you said that you were doing it for the wrong reasons, or it wasn't meant to be in that sense, and this is what it's meant to be. I felt the same way. Like, it didn't work out in my vision of this thing that I thought was going to happen, but it worked out exactly the way it was supposed to work out because it landed us here. And it's like, I can just go down a rabbit hole because now here we are sitting here on this set, you know, talking to all these people out there about this.
I know. Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Grandma. And it's amazing. It's just so amazing. And it just shows us and everybody what we can do with our lives.
Absolutely.
You know, and if we can push through that fear, like, anything is possible. Yeah. And all these people that you're going to touch in the alumni program, it's going to be hundreds and hundreds of people, and that will snowball into that. And I always say, like, if you can look down from above on everything you're impacting, you know, it's like you talk to one person, that person talks to another person, and all these people are feeling connected. Yeah. And you're instilling hope and motivating and inspiring, and it's really, really beautiful. So thank you for coming on and doing the alumni program, and just, like, so excited for you.
I know, it is for us. Definitely my honor.
So let me ask you some fun questions. Okay. Let's do some fun questions now. So you're in a relationship, right? I am. Okay. You want to just, like, talk about that for a minute? Oh my God. Okay. So I'm in a relationship with a bodybuilder, and it's this dude is crazy. This dude is crazy. When we were first going out, I'm like, how are we going to coexist? Because complete different lifestyles. Yeah. He's like very strict and very purposeful, and I'm very just, you know, relaxed and easygoing, and
I don't know. I kind of feel like in my relationship with him, I've learned so much about myself because he has been a true mirror for me, you know, and I've learned so much, especially like I want to say that if you're in recovery and you are in a relationship, what worked for me and my partner was that we went into therapy when things are good. Because
I love that.
We went into therapy and we told our therapist, like, we're good right now, but we want to be better for each other because we both have different traumas and triggers, and we both come from different worlds. And
I love that. Go to therapy when things are good, so when they're not so good, you've been doing the work.
yeah,
I love that. If you had to just think of the one thing that he would say is your top quality, what would he say?
I think he would say my heart.
Your heart.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from for you? Your heart, your caring nature.
I guess I would have to go to like life experiences. You know, I grew up in a very humble household where both my parents worked, and I'm the oldest brother, so I would cook and clean and take care of my younger brothers, and that I think that's where it came from.
Yeah. Okay. You want kids? You're good. Okay.
Fur babies, yes.
Fur babies. Yeah, me too. I got my one son. That's okay. got the fur babies.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next couple years? Like what is one thing? Let me rephrase that. What is one thing for you on a personal level that you want to work on and gain wisdom on or educate yourself on over the next couple years?
Yeah, so I want to go and get my LMFT.
Amazing.
Yeah, I really feel like this is what I need to be doing. I think it's really interesting for me to look at people with compassion and say, how can I help you? You know, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
I always say that, like, when people talk about anxiety and depression, codependency, abandonment, PTSD, we talk about it with friends over dinners and stuff like that, but it's kind of like, for me, I don't know anything about cars, so if you ask me where the radiator is, I would not know. I'd just be like,
That's me too.
It's somewhere.
It's in there.
It's in there, you know, but okay, I'll listen to you. But when you go into a specialist, a professional, if I were to take my car into a mechanic and say, where's my radiator? They know exactly where it is, and they know exactly what to do with it. And I want to do that for people's souls, for people's hearts, for people's minds.
I love that analogy. It's perfect. Okay, last question.
Okay.
So if somebody came to you and they had no idea what recovery meant, and they were just in an addiction, and they asked you, describe recovery to me. Describe it so I can feel it. What is it? How would you describe recovery to somebody?
Oh my goodness. Oh. That's, I guess, for me, I would just describe it as solutions. Just having solutions. The first thing I would say is, are you tired? Are you tired of your life right now? And do you want to make it a little better? You know, what if I can tell you that all these things are a symptom of your alcoholism or your addiction? You know, because that's for me. Let me tell you, since I've gotten sober, how many parking tickets have I gotten? 0. Since I've gotten sober, how many backstabbing friends do I have? 0.
You're not a victim anymore.
I'm not a victim. I'm serious. Yeah. Since I've gotten sober, like, my life is just thriving. And at first it was just like me, everything's happening to me.
Right.
And I was creating this with the chaos that I was so addicted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, if somebody were to ask me to describe sobriety, I would say it's a freedom. It's a freedom of chaos.
It's a freedom of chaos. I love that. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This was really good. I felt like we really vibed, so we should do this more often.
Okay, I'm down.
Since you're going to be here.
I'm down.
You guys heard it here.
Okay.
All right,
4
everybody.
o'clock and
4 o'clock.
a Thursday, 4 o'clock Tuesday.
That's it. All right, you guys, have a wonderful holiday weekend. Please be safe out there. We will see you next Friday. Goodbye.